Next Level Agent community, what is going on? It is Kevin Kaufman, and as I promised, I'm joined by my dear friend, person I admire and love, Seychelle Van Poole, Van Poole Properties with Keller Williams Realty in Dallas, Texas. Seychelle, how are you doing?
I am so good, and I'm so happy to be here. This is something we're really passionate about, so I'm really excited to get to be on Next Level Agents with you today.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. So the reason why we did this, this isn't like a regularly scheduled interview, but the subject keeps coming up in our forum about Thanksgiving pie giveaways and really client appreciation events overall. But I know for me, I thought about my business, and when Fred and I first brought client appreciation events into the fold, the very first thing we did was a pie giveaway.
Yep.
Pie giveaway, because it's like the easiest. Everybody loves it, and so we'll be doing our fourth one or fifth one in a couple weeks. And I know you and Barb have totally built your business off of referrals and making the client feel loved. And so you're the master at it. You were the first person to jump in and go, here's my process. You guys can have my process. So I was like, there's so much demand for this. Let's just have a talk about it. So this will be shorter than normal. Maybe this will go 30 minutes, but I wanted to be able to have you just give us your process. So before we dive into that, can you just tell us a little bit about you, maybe a little bit of your background? I know it, but I think your background and how you even got into real estate is a very cool story. And of course, you know that I'm a big fan of Barb. So let's talk about where those, how that came together.
Because Barb is awesome. So the infamous Barb is my mom. We're in business together. And Barb actually got her real estate license on her birthday, which happened to be September 11th, 2001. Which, from a historical standpoint, probably was not the best day to get into real estate. That's when we started. And it was her birthday, and she was out at coffee celebrating when the towers were hit. And her plan had always been to build our business on database, on people that we know. She and my dad have always been really involved in our community. But when you all of a sudden have a major economic and national emergency like that, a lot of people don't necessarily want to change their living situation or their housing situation at that time. So Barb got her start in the business the first couple of years actually doing open houses and cold calling, which is something she swore she would never do, but she found herself really starting that way. She won Rookie of the Year for International for Keller Williams her first year. Which she won't tell you, but I will because she's awesome. And then hired her first assistant, and then I joined them in 2004. And my background was corporate advertising. So I worked for ad agencies in Austin and Dallas and then in New York, and moved back to Texas because my dad has Parkinson's, and we're actually on year almost 18 with Parkinson's with him. And I started asking myself the question, right, when my dad is going to need more support and more help, who's going to take care of him? And I knew that my mom would want to be present and be able to be there with him. And I said, so if she's taking care of him, who is going to take care of them? And it really blossomed into this great business partnership where I committed to making sure that my mom was given the gift of freedom, not only to help with my dad, but also to have the freedom of time to do whatever Barb wants to do. So in 2007, I took over and started running the team. And we really got back to our roots, which is building relationships and building strategic relationships with people that we know, like, and trust. And when you look at our business, over 68% of it is past client and repeat business. And referrals. And then we have another 24% of that business that comes from agent to agent referrals. And so almost, over 90% of our business is through people that we know, people that like us, and people that trust us. And so about 7 years ago, we started really having the idea of events. And events really wasn't because we just love throwing parties or just love having events. It was a strategic conversation about, okay, if we already know that we have a large portion of our business from people that know, like, and trust us, how can we insert ourselves into their conversations more so that when the conversation of real estate comes up, we've added value into their life on a personal level, and now we're being talked about. And
I love that.
Yeah, and so it was very, very strategic. It's not just oh, I love pies. It's no, you're getting ready to go to like a big event with all of your friends and family, and I want to be where you're going to be, and I can't be at 400 Thanksgiving dinners, but my name could be at 400 Thanksgiving dinners, right?
So, couple things I want to point out, and I have a question for you. Tell us about your business. Like before we go further into this process, what this conversation is more about, which is like the process of these events. Tell us about your business. Where are you guys at today? Like, what's your team structure, your size? What was your production last year, or maybe where you're going, or even a rolling 12 months, so we can get an idea of where you guys have built this to.
Right. So we did about 225 sales last year for 75 million. We're sitting at 87 million booked in right now. And we're targeting probably about 280 to 300 sales for this year. And we're staffing up for a large growth. Our goal is within the next 5 years to grow to 1,000 home sales a year. And so we're staffing up and strategically building our database to support that level of volume. Being in Dallas-Fort Worth, our Metroplex area is the size of Connecticut, and so when you think about that, we have a huge metro area to service. And so our expansion location is in Austin and then Dallas-Fort Worth because we do a lot of business back and forth.
Cool.
And so those are our two locations. And we know that, with over 100,000 real estate sales happening here in Dallas-Fort Worth, that we have a lot of room to grow that could support our volume here in the Metroplex as well, in addition to Austin. So that's been really fabulous.
Awesome. So that's not a small business. I just wanted to point out, like, I know your numbers and I knew that you knew your numbers, which is a story I want to get to later. But the fact of like, we're not talking about
10 home sales. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not 10 home sales in this, but the reason why that's important is because I think some folks who are at, say, 10 home sales are going to go, well, I don't know if I should do this, but I know that you would do it at 10 home sales. And in fact, it'd be easier to execute on. But if you're at a team that maybe is already at 100 deals a year or 300 deals a year or even 500 deals a year, you're still able to take the same thing and scale it to make it big.
Well, and I think the important thing about when you're looking at doing an event like this or any client event is doing it once is going to do nothing for you. You have to commit. If we're going to do this event, we need to do it every year. And if we're going to add it, we're going to do it, we're going to commit to it, and then we're going to tweak and refine. And then we're going to do it and tweak and refine and tweak and refine. This is not, so like today, I'm here to hopefully shortcut somebody 7 years into the process. But my hope would be is that somebody then takes our event and what we've done and grow it from there. So like, just to give you numbers, the first year we did the pie giveaway, we were sitting right around about 120 sales, 110, 120 sales a year. We had 56 people show up to get pies. Then the next year it grew to 87 people came and got pies and bundt cakes. Then we grew to 125. Then it went to 250. Then it went to 325. And this last year we had 456 pies and bundt cakes ordered.
That's impressive. And for what it's worth, those numbers are very similar to ours as far as like number of pies and like the growth. Like the reality is not everyone shows up. Now you guys have sold a whole lot of houses the first time you'd done one. You probably already had a few hundred clients, but not everyone's going to show up the first time. But then you show them that, hey, no, this is an annual event. I'm here in your life. I'm your realtor forever. Right. And now they're showing up.
Year and the next year and the next year. So don't worry. Like if you got chocolate chip this year and you want red velvet next year, it's cool. Don't have to order two because you can pick another one next year, Or like me, where you take the cherry pie, you hide it in the back of your car, you tell no one you have it, and you eat it by yourself. But whatever.
That's a totally different episode, though. So
it's called binge eating with Seychelle. Totally different episode.
Hashtag binge eating with Seychelle. That's for later in the evening.
Maybe some wine, maybe some cherry pie. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, never happened here. At any rate, so okay, so you get started. You have this first pie giveaway. Tell me about it. Like, what are the steps? Like, what are you learning from this? What are the lessons you're taking away from it? What are the steps you're going through?
So when we did this, we committed to over 4 years, adding one event a year until we sat at 4 client events a year. And then, so we didn't do 4 events all at once, because I think that's sort of like if you've done nothing for your clients and then you go to 4 events, it's almost like barfing on someone. It's a lot. So for us, it was like, let's get in and ease into this, build a relationship, ask for permission to be in business with them together for life, and make an excuse to get face to face where they come to you. So part of the goal with the events is they come to you. I don't have to go to everybody, and then grow from there. And really, we wanted to add value in somebody's life. And so for us, Thanksgiving is a time for family. And we felt like it was a great time when people are out of school, people are off of work. We might get to see people's kids. We might get to see other additional family members and have some great engaging conversation. And so we did the first one. And I think the thing we learned the very first year was, we need to make sure that our branding is all over whatever we're giving away, because we need that going into the Thanksgiving meal. And so our first one, I think we maybe got 3 or 4 referrals out of it, but it's because we didn't know what we were doing. And I can guarantee you we were not asking for the business in a strategic way. And so I think the biggest thing that we have learned from that is, like with our scripts, when we call to invite you, when we're at the door, when we're calling to say we missed you, it's always about adding value to them and giving an item of value, and then secondarily turning back around and saying, and I also have a business question for you, which is, who do you know that I need to know? Or do you have any real estate plans or questions about the real estate market that we can make sure that we're staying in touch, because the market's changing a lot right now. And we need to be aware of what your goals are so we can help you time the market. And it's been a great conversation starter for us. And like one example that I love coming out of this is we have these amazing clients. Actually, her name is Carrie. Her birthday is actually today, so it's very special. But she and her husband have bought and sold with us 4 times now. And they were selling a higher end property and were building. And it was really important to them. Last year when we saw them at Thanksgiving, it was really important to them they didn't move twice. And they were moving from a higher end home to an even bigger house. And they didn't want to move twice and wanted to wait until June or July to put their home on the market this year, because their home wasn't going to be ready until the beginning of July. And I said, we really don't want to move twice. Well, because we had that conversation with them at Thanksgiving on this $1.1 million home, in October, November, we're starting to see the market go like this. In December, January, I'm blowing up their phones saying, hey, I know you don't want to put your home on the market till June or July, but we're seeing a significant decrease in your neighborhood. Days on market are going up. Your home prices are starting to tip some. And if we don't get you on the market like March, April this year, we're still going to be in conversation November, December in 2018, because you aren't doing what you need to do to get your home sold, which is we need to be in the market right now. And because we had that conversation at Thanksgiving with them, they were on the market in April. We had them under contract by the beginning of June. They didn't close until their home was finished, so they still didn't move twice. But we made them close to $85,000 more because we timed the market for them than if we had waited until this fall, where their home prices are already $85,000 lower than it would have been when they sold.
Wow. So because you're able to have a conversation with them, and really an extra conversation with them, and not only like whether we realize it or not, there's a psychological effect that goes into that conversation, because you were doing something for them. You gave them something. I know you weren't necessarily giving in this. It's not like you're giving to receive. You're giving to give, but you're giving to build a relationship. And what that allows them to do is it allows them psychologically, whether they realize it or not, they receive that so much better. And there's a psychological connection to you, and your advice is, well, she's giving, and we have a strong relationship. And I think that these events do nothing but solidify that.
Well, and I think too, like I was talking with a friend yesterday, and we were just talking about a lot of the events going on in the world right now, right? And fear of the unknown can breed hate, right? Mm-hmm. And I think love when you give it freely breeds trust. Right? And if you think about what our events are designed to do, it's designed to love on our clients. And it's designed to build trust with our clients, that we get to earn the right to be in relationship with them in real estate for life. And instead, if we're buying into a fear-based mentality, we're buying into negative energy, we're buying into all of the stuff that's going on in the media right now, instead of focusing on what we do best, which is love on our people, love on our clients, love on our team, right? We're not building the trust that we need to be earning with our clients. And so for us, it's all about how do we give love as freely as possible and strategically as possible, so that we're earning the right to have the conversation that when you're ready, you're calling us. And I think that is exactly what this event does.
Awesome. So, okay, so let's talk about the event a little bit more. Like, give me the down and dirty. So I'm an agent, I have a team, or I'm a solo agent, whatever, and I've never done this. but I feel like maybe I want to do this because it sounds smart that I'm maybe talking to my clients more often than I currently am, and maybe doing it from a place of, can I do something for you? So where do I get started? What are the steps I go through?
So I think the first thing we do is we created a mailer, and we made it actually look like an order form. And so we basically sent it out. It's a jumbo-sized postcard that went out that said, as a thank you for your support and being a loyal client of ours, we'd like to give you a pie or bundt cake of your choice. And we went ahead and pre-negotiated with 2 vendors, Central Market and Nothing Bundt Cakes here, to go ahead and give us a discount if we're ordering in bulk with them. And then we sent out an order form. And it literally said, we'd love to give this to you. Pick which one you want. Call or email us with your order, and we'll have it ready for pickup the Tuesday before Thanksgiving from 12 to 5. And then after that, we send an email confirmation or an email reminder if they haven't ordered yet. And then we call the database, because it's important not just to work passively through email and direct mail. You got to call. So we'll I know, crazy. So we'll give you, I'll be happy to share the script with that, but we've got a script then that we call and ask for business, ask for referrals, and we also ask for their order, and have everything put into a Google spreadsheet. We track it all, put in the orders, and then the Tuesday morning before everybody comes to pick up, we're running around like crazy people, getting everything together, and handing out pies to hundreds of people over a 4 or 5 hour period. And then the cool part is you're going to have, we found it's about 10% of the people that order just don't show. They forget they're out of town, something happens, but that's a great opportunity then to strategically give to a food pantry, walk down and make relationships with your neighbors. We actually had last year, we found out by giving out pies and bundt cakes that one of our clients, her husband was in hospice, and it allowed us to mobilize the entire team and take an entire Thanksgiving meal to them. And we asked what all of his favorite sides were. So we brought literally like this whole smorgasbord of food for his entire family. It ended up being his last meal. And what an awesome gift that his favorite meal was Thanksgiving, and they weren't gonna have anything but a bundt cake if we hadn't found out. And instead we got to like love on them and bring this amazing gift of their entire Thanksgiving meal for them.
That's so awesome.
It was awesome. So
I think a lot of us go, I want the chance to impact somebody like that, especially a client, somebody who's like, help me build my business. But the thing is, you can't do that if you don't have the conversations and you don't put yourself in a situation to find out what your clients are going through in their real life. And the only way to do that is to get your hands dirty and have a relationship with them.
And I wish I could say that of the 2,500 people we've helped in real estate, that I have that relationship with all of them. In all reality, it's impossible. But I will tell you that if you're constantly in touch with them and asking how they're doing and checking in on them, you're going to earn the right to have that conversation. And they may not volunteer it immediately. It might be just a side comment as they're picking up a bundt cake saying, oh, Bill is going to love this. This actually is going to be probably his last meal. And if you're present and you're listening intently and you pick up on what's going on, it allows you permission to have that conversation where all of a sudden you can do something incredible for somebody. And that's an awesome opportunity that we get to give in our business. It's awesome.
So couple things. You're teaching better than people are listening. I guarantee it. So go back and listen to this again, because Seychelle just dropped like 7 bombs on you on how to make this thing go amazing for you. So Seychelle, we have about 10 minutes left. I know you have an appointment, I have an appointment, but you and I agreed that it was a good idea to squeeze this in because it's the last day of October and Pie Day is coming up soon for most of us.
Like if you took this today and implemented it, you have time to get the whole thing pulled off, and no one would ever know you just started.
So tell me, let's start with, I'm the solo agent. It doesn't matter. I'm the solo agent. I want you to think in the shoes of, you're just starting your business, or you're a solo agent and you've been in business for a while, you have a database, you have past clients, or you're a big team. Like, where do I start? What are the things I need to pull off? Let's say in the next 7 days, what's the micro commitments I need to make right now today? So that way I can pull this off, maybe 2 or 3 weeks from today.
What I would say is go and look at the number of people that you have. Let's say somebody doesn't even have a database. They just might have like a holiday card list. I would go in and make a commitment to call everybody on my holiday list to make sure I have their updated address. I would mail them. If you don't even have time to like actually go and get everything designed and printed, I would go into Canva and make just a little half sheet and send it in an envelope as an invitation to them. And then I would call them and make it a goal that I'm going to go and get 10% of that list to come show up for a pie or a bundt cake. Just 10%. So if you have 300 people on that list, I would try to get 30 back in going after that. So that would be what I would do. And then from there, you can focus on growing it. But that's how I would start.
Awesome. Okay, so what are the couple tips like you can give me? So let's say I'm willing to do that and I'm gonna go take action. What are a couple of the other tips? Like, how do I plus this? How do I become the pie giveaway ninja that you are?
A woman named Laura gave us the great tip that if I'm on the phone with somebody, you just tell them, hey, if you whip me up a referral by the time from today, by the time I see you, I'll give you some free whipped cream with your pie too. That doubled our number of referrals.
Oh man, I can only imagine. I bet you that Barb had that script down pat too.
Yeah.
I bet she nails it with that one.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And then if you have kids, bring your kids with you and make it a game for them to ask for referrals and make it a contest. We did that last year and added an extra 8 referrals from a 12-year-old.
What? Okay. So while we're in it and we're running short on minutes, give me the numbers. So can you share with me? Are you okay sharing the numbers that we talked about before we started? Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me. What is this cost for you guys? How much money do you make from it? What's the return?
The total cost of the event was $10,000. I'm going to break it down for you. We had $3,000 in direct mail. We mailed out to 3,500 people. So $3,000 in direct mail between design and mail. We had $300 in the labels that got smacked on top of the pie. We had $100 in whipped cream that we bought. We had then our cost for our bundt cakes, we negotiated down to $16, and the cost of our pies was $12. So if you add all of that up, it added to $10,000 in the event. We had 24 referrals given. 12 of those actually closed because someone's going to give you a name and they may not be ready to buy or sell in the next year, but they mightn't too. So just in the last year, 12 of those actually closed out for $4.8 million in sales, which is $144,000 in commission. So if you take a $10,000 event, $144,000 in commission, that means we had a 14.5 times multiple on our event, and our cost of sale was 6.9%.
I love that. So here's the reason why I love that too, because I know some folks that in the industry who do some really good pie events, or not, maybe not even pie, but like client event. But what stuck out to me, and I know this about you already because I've known you for so long, is I knew that you knew those numbers too. Even though you didn't share those with me until 35, 40 minutes ago, I knew that you knew those numbers. And I see a lot of folks who go out and they do great things for their clients, which is awesome, by the way. We should be doing great things for our clients, but they're literally don't know the return on it and don't understand the impact that it has or doesn't have in some cases to the business. Right. And so I think there's a way that as agents and business people, we can be very strategic about what we're doing and be very human at the same time, giving back, building relationships, potentially providing somebody with their last meal that happens to be their favorite meal because we were listening intently and doing those types of things. So I think that's awesome. You also mentioned you've probably got like a few other giveaways that you said we can share with our listeners today. What are those that we can share?
So I've got for you our video teaser that we did that was kind of a goofy, like attention getter last year that was really cute, where we had, it was a pie in the face challenge, and you had to guess, the team member next to you, you had to guess their favorite like Thanksgiving side. And if you got it wrong, you got pied in the face. So that was great. So I've got that for you. I put our whole system, including a copy of our direct mail, the copy of the labels, and the script that we use when we call the clients. I went ahead and saved all of that in a PDF for you to be able to send out. And then I also did just like a screenshot for you, Kevin, of like what our Google like spreadsheet looks like for tracking the orders. So that way, if somebody was just like, I need to take this and run with it today, they literally would have all of the tools necessary to take it, implement it, and make it happen today.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do is later today, I will drop those into the file section of the Facebook group. If you happen to be listening to this through the podcast, you'll have to join the Next Level Agents Facebook group and find the upload with Seychelle's pie giveaway ninja system. I'm just going to call it that because that's what it is.
I like that. And you know what? They should join that group for a number of reasons because we get so much value out of it that if they're not part of it already, they should be. So
Yeah, because our amazing members come on and give away free stuff like this. That's amazing. So, okay, a couple more minutes. What's something else you want to share? I don't care if it's about pies or Thanksgiving, or even if it's about real estate. Maybe it's how people get in touch with you for a referral. Maybe it's about something else you're working on personally. I don't care, but the floor is yours, Seychelle. What would you like to share with us?
Well, I'm going to share one thing with you really quick, and then I'll give my contact info. One thing is you were talking about knowing your numbers. We grew up to 4 events a year, and we found out that the one we were doing in the middle of summer, which actually ended up being our most expensive event, was our least effective event. And so we ended up cutting that, and we're retooling it and looking at doing something different. But if we weren't paying attention, that would have been a $15,000 event that we were doing that we would just still be spending to spend, instead of holding our dollars accountable. So I would just say knowing your numbers and tracking that from day one really helps you make sure that you're doing something that's worthwhile for also growing your business. And I would say something about us is we love growing with awesome people that are motivated and smart and fast-paced, and we're always looking for really great people to add, that want to add value and want to be a part of a fun organization that likes to work hard and play. So if you know of anybody that is looking to buy or sell in the Dallas, Fort Worth, or Austin area, call me. But also if you know anybody who's looking for a great culture to be a part of and wants to grow their leadership and their business and their acumen, that's somebody we're looking to be in business with. And you can email me either at SeychelleVanPoole.com, or I'll give you my cell if you want that. It's 469-231-1662. How's that?
Perfect. That is cool. I'll put your, I'll write your email address up there later so it just stays.
Okay.
So very cool. I love that. Obviously, a great way to say thank you to somebody is referrals. Last tip, and then I'm going to let you go, Seychelle, just because I ask everybody this question, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask it, so I'm totally throwing you on the spot. But I want your top 3 pieces of advice for kicking ass at life. Like if somebody came to you, maybe maybe you're mentoring them, maybe you're coaching them, maybe it's just a friend, maybe it's a team member, doesn't matter. But they say, Seychelle, I want to get better at life. And you go, here's the 3 things you got to do. What is that?
I think the first thing is remember relationships matter most. The second thing then is plan the time on how you're going to spend with those relationships. So every November, we plan our whole vacation schedule for the next year. And then the third thing on that would be dedicate every day to grow and learn.
Awesome. I love that. Those are great tips. Thank you so much, Seychelle. I super appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love you too. Give Barb a big hug for me.
I will.
And high five the team. You guys are badass. Keep doing big things, and I will talk to you soon.
You're the best. Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.